To understand the history of Italian design, you need to look at the products, but also at the places where they are born. Our manufacturing plants are so unique. No other country in the world has the same diversity and capacity. Italian companies live in small towns, surrounded by landscapes and industrial areas, next to the countryside, the coast, a mountain slope. Our inseparable bond with production sites vouches for the constant exchange between past and present, skills and nature, technology and craftsmanship. Design cements the bond of creativity and products into a universal value system called Made in Italy. Where technical and cultural production is carried out, magic happens and an idea is made into an exciting object, material or technology. Here, the tradition of Italian craftsmanship is revived using advanced industrial processes that seize the opportunities that digital and energy transitions provide. Environmental challenges urge design to undergo a profound shift, from rethinking practices for an efficient use of resources to redesigning durable and reusable products. Sustainable and human-oriented design generates visions you realize by using other knowledge and a constant exchange between industry and research. Because the creation of happiness, along with the protection of the environment, is the very goal of design, a true intangible heritage of mankind. Culture, beauty, innovation and passion, along with social and cultural well-being, are the essentials of a model that is based on a simple and effective formula: to put man at the center of a company. This concept goes beyond the stock company to embody a people company, communities that share, preserve, and hand down the skills of Italian know-how. To understand the history of Italian design, you need to look at the products, but also at the places where they are born. Our manufacturing plants are so unique. No other country in the world has the same diversity and capacity. Where technical and cultural production is carried out, magic happens and an idea is made into an exciting object, material or technology. Here, the tradition of Italian craftsmanship is revived using advanced industrial processes that seize the opportunities that digital and energy transitions provide. Sustainable and human-oriented design generates visions you realize by using other knowledge and a constant exchange between industry and research. Because the creation of happiness, along with the protection of the environment, is the very goal of design, a true intangible heritage of mankind.
Il mio nome è Peter Pichler, sono uno dei soci fondatori di Peter Pichler Architecture. Lo studio è stato fondato nel 2015 assieme a mia moglie Silvana Ordinas. Penso che se parliamo di sostenibilità, per noi come studio è molto importante capire la cultura di un posto, capire la storia, capire l'architettura vernacolare del posto. Penso che tutti i nostri design, la nostra architettura si ispira anche al passato, si ispira al passato in tale senso di non soltanto utilizzare materiali locali, ma penso anche di utilizzare tecniche che si utilizzavano una volta dove non c'erano queste possibilità di macchine che abbiamo oggi, dall'aria condizionata fino ai soffitti radianti che una volta non c'erano, quindi si doveva movimentarsi qualcosa di più semplice. Questo secondo noi è la cosa che ci interessa molto nei nostri progetti.
Odio la parola sostenibilità perché è diventata talmente abusata che ogni volta che qualcuno mi parla di sostenibilità gli chiedo dimmi di cosa vuoi parlare esattamente. Sai che l'ultima elaborazione per me di quello che mi hai chiesto è l'idea della bellezza comunque, perché il problema della sostenibilità riguarda il nostro futuro. Bisogna salvarsi in modo glorioso. O io faccio qualcosa in cui qualche parte di quella cosa che faccio comunque è dannosa per il nostro futuro, c'è qualcosa che posso fare che sta a pari, che almeno non peggiora, e posso fare qualcosa che invece è virtuoso. È una storia abbastanza complessa in cui tu devi trovare tutte le quadre, ma che nel lavoro specifico riguarda il fatto di riuscire sempre a trovare e a capire quello che manca, perché essendo un designer puoi lavorarci su, per avere un sistema che sia assolutamente sostenibile.
quindi da sempre noi facciamo dei progetti che sono dei progetti dedicati al risparmio energetico, comunque che nel nostro DNA è una delle tematiche più presenti. Per noi tutti i G14 la sostenibilità è un insieme di due atteggiamenti. Da una parte c'è un atteggiamento di tipo tecnico, quindi come portatori, come rappresentanti comunque del mondo occidentale, quindi del mondo tecnologico. Se io progetto un oggetto che ha una durata estremamente compatta, estremamente limitata, che è pensato per vivere e durare poco, di per sé commetto un errore imperdonabile in questo periodo storico, perché comunque questo è un atteggiamento non sostenibile, anche se è fatto con il sistema tecnologico più sostenibile e più riciclabile del mondo. Deve avvenire sia nella progettazione dei posti in cui viviamo, sia degli oggetti che utilizziamo, sia nella casa, dalla stilografica al rispetto al usa e getta.
Riscoprire la sostenibilità in un mondo più globale è qualcosa che implica uno sforzo, una conoscenza delle energie, del movimento del mondo, ed è un nuovo soggetto che è interessantissimo. Io credo che l'energia sta diventando sempre un tema dove ci stiamo applicando sempre di più e capiamo che l'energia è a tantissimi livelli, non solo quella che serve per scaldare un edificio o per provvederlo di acqua e del comfort, però anche l'energia della qualità dell'architettura, che dà una possibilità per gli umani o per gli esseri che la abitano di rispondere in maniera migliore e di stare meglio.
Qualità ed energia, sogno e realtà, funzione e racconto, materia e tecnologia. Che cos'è il design oggi? Di che cosa si nutre? Che cosa ci offre? Io con il mio lavoro mi concentro soprattutto sulla rielaborazione di immagini e di segni e sulla sovrapposizione di codici, di storie, che sono gli elementi a me più cari, che mi circondano e che mi appartengono. Sono convinta che oggi il design debba ritrovare un po' della sua intimità creativa. Questo perché? Per avvicinarsi il più possibile alle persone e per valorizzare, ma senza violentare, il territorio e l'ambiente. Quindi riscoprendo poi tecniche di lavorazione, materiali locali, però con il coraggio di proiettarli, no? Di metterli a confronto con il mercato globale. Quindi, come dicevo, ripartire da noi, dal territorio, per arrivare poi al mondo, ma in modo consapevole e soprattutto rispettoso.
Sono Giacomo Garziano, fondatore dello studio Architettura GGV. Una parte fondamentale del nostro approccio progettuale parte dalla consapevolezza che l'uomo è parte integrante del sistema natura. Questo ci consente di lavorare a diversa scala, dalla progettazione urbana alla progettazione del singolo oggetto, mettendo la natura al primo posto, utilizzando tecnologie totalmente contemporanee intelligenza artificiale, quindi utilizzando l'emisfero destro, se vogliamo, la parte maschile, combinata a una parte più femminile, più creativa, più intuitiva, che è legata anche al rapporto emozionale che abbiamo con la natura. Questa simbiosi tra l'emisfero sinistro e l'emisfero destro è alla base del nostro approccio biofilico. È come se immaginassimo la natura stessa come una madre che progetta per i propri figli, i propri figli dei propri figli, per le generazioni a venire.
Oggi di architettura, parlare di metropoli, di megalopoli, di città diffuse significa affrontare il grande tema dell'efficientamento. L'efficientamento può avvenire solamente con l'uso delle nuove tecnologie, con il controllo dei big data, col coinvolgimento quotidiano e per sempre di tutti noi. Questa è l'unica strada per affrontare le grandi sfide che ci attendono. L'interazione tra questi diversi atti ci dovrebbe portare anche a un aumento di creatività, una creatività nuova che genererà nuove forme, nuove organizzazioni, ma anche una nuova architettura. Tutto ciò di cui stiamo parlando, che è una caratteristica del nostro mestiere, è l'estremo lavoro. Bisogna inventare una nuova forma e i prossimi anni saranno portatori di grandi novità.
Lavoro molto su questo concetto di architettura osmotica legata all'ambiente, quindi è l'ambiente che in un certo senso disegna l'architettura e viceversa, quindi c'è questo scambio. Un altro elemento su cui lavoro intensamente è l'integrazione dell'impiantistica, quindi della tecnologia impiantistica all'aspetto architetturale. C'è questo progetto che abbiamo realizzato del People Mover nelle stazioni di questo shuttle che va dalla stazione di Bologna all'aeroporto della città, dove abbiamo creato una grande balaustra che è in grado di generare il 40% dell'energia di tutto il sistema. È un linguaggio che si deve rifare, si rifà agli aspetti naturali e deve passare oggi non solamente dagli elementi costituenti che sono importanti, ma proprio a questa idea di ben fatto, di ben realizzato, che alla fine assume un linguaggio, quindi una qualità estetico-visiva che poi caratterizza la nostra architettura intesa appunto in senso mediterraneo italiano.
Si parla tanto di semplicità, si parla di economia circolare, si parla di sostenibilità, si parla, ma molto spesso non si fa. La nostra proposta è molto semplice. Dobbiamo semplificare le procedure di costruzione, dobbiamo eliminare i controsoffitti, dobbiamo eliminare i downlight, dobbiamo eliminare gli spot. Dobbiamo semplicemente creare durabilità. La durabilità è l'unica possibilità di sopravvivenza per il nostro pianeta. Dobbiamo creare cose più semplici, cose che non creano difficoltà né nel design né nell'architettura. Nella piccola scala come nella grande scala dobbiamo semplificare. Grazie per averci ascoltato.
Cerchiamo sempre di ragionare in termini di conversione, che per noi vuol dire passare dall'idea di efficienza e di quella di semplice produttività anche a una visione molto più aperta, che penso è quella dell'adattabilità.
Ladies and gentlemen, the virtual seminar entitled Green and Smart City Regeneration, Design and New Technologies for a Sustainable Future is about to begin. Please ensure your audio is on mute mode and your video is on so we can see all of you, as it's always nice if you can put a name on the face. This event is going to start shortly. Thank you very much for your patience. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Jakarta time here and buongiorno. Good morning to all our speakers and audiences in Italy. I'm sending our warmest welcome all the way from Jakarta to Italy. Welcome our honorable guest. How are we today? I hope everybody is doing great and excited for today's program. May peace be upon us. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Mona and I'm very, very delighted to be your MC today. It's always a great pleasure to meet all of you, even though it's just virtually. Welcome to the virtual forum entitled Green and Smart City Regeneration, Design and New Technologies for a Sustainable Future. This event is organized by Italian Trade Agency with support from Italian Embassy in Jakarta, Indonesia. May I hear a round of applause? Thank you very much. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, Indonesia scales up construction for the new capital city called Nusantara. It will be a great opportunity actually for Italian and Indonesian building design and architecture specialists, think tank to take part and participate through knowledge sharing and of course collaboration, so to improve the quality of life of the people and to contribute to a sustainable future for all. I'm so glad today we have as many as 7 speakers. So there will be 4 Italian speakers and 3 Indonesian speakers with abundant of expertise, knowledge, and experience to share with all of us what exactly the concept of a smart city. How do smart cities work? And what kind of benefits they bring to citizens' lives? How much does a smart city cost? And can smart city concept help Indonesia to achieve target full nets in 2030? Well, I believe all our prominent speakers today will be able to give us a brand new perspective and hopefully can answer to all those questions. So after the presentation, we will have a short Q&A session. So if any of you have questions, don't wait until the end. You are welcome to send your questions as we go along, and I will try to facilitate all your questions during the Q&A session. All right, before we proceed to the next agenda, I would like to invite all the participants today to sing Indonesia National Anthem Indonesia Raya, followed by Italia National Anthem Inno degli Italiani. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your participation. So let's start this special event. We will hear a special greeting from the Ambassador of Italy in Indonesia. Please welcome our beloved Mr. Ambassador, His Excellency Benedetto Latte.
Dear, thank you very much, Mona, for the floor. Good morning in Italy, good afternoon in Jakarta, Indonesia. I'd like to thank you all for participating in this webinar. This webinar is the second in a row that the Italian Trade Commissioner has organized together with the embassy to talk and to offer opportunities of cooperation on a theme which is important for Indonesia and Italy, which is green and smart cities, between renovation, innovation, design, new technologies in a frame of sustainability. It's the second of this event. Today's event is focused strongly on the operators. We wish the operators to have a concrete opportunity to talk each other on possible project for cooperation. This is actually the role of the Italian institutions abroad, to build up a frame. Within this frame, the individuals, companies, single operators can interact between them. Indonesia in the near future will be a great opportunity for building industry, especially those industries, those companies in the industry which are more devoted to sustainability, to innovation. This is why it's a very dynamic country. A lot of attention is paying to the construction industry, especially with a special focus on the new capital, Nusantara. I wish that the ICE, Italian Trade Commission, together with the embassy and the IBAI, the Association of Italian Businessmen in Indonesia, can provide you good support in your future behavior. Thank you very much, and I wish you a fruitful webinar.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador, for the kind and warm opening greeting. Please stay safe and stay healthy. All right, proceeding with today's special event, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite Trade Commissioner of Italian Trade Agency in Jakarta, Indonesia, to present more details about this event. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Paulo Pinto.
Good morning to Italian friends. Good afternoon to Indonesian friends. As part of the initiatives to promote Italian Design Day and on the occasion of the construction of Nusantara, the new capital of Indonesia, our office in Jakarta wanted to organize a virtual seminar on this theme: Green and Smart Cities, Regeneration, Design and New Technologies for a Sustainable Future. This event is attended by Indonesian and Italian specialists in the field of architecture and design. Included among the integrated promotion initiatives developed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the event is the continuation, as the ambassador said, of the webinar organized by the Italian Embassy in Indonesia on December 15th, with the theme Nusantara, Indonesia's New Capital, Potential Opportunities for Italian Business. The webinar will explore the topic of smart cities in relation to the sustainable development and highlights the business opportunities between Indonesian and Italian companies. Italian companies that have already expressed the interest in the webinar on December will be able to participate in business meeting with the Indonesian companies in the days following the seminar. The interest that international organizations have shown in the subject also indicates the significance of Nusantara. The Asian Development Bank, for example, has launched a study for the construction of the new capital of the country, Nusantara, as part of its interventions to reduce carbon emissions. According to Mr. Susantono, head of the Nusantara Capital City Authority, the utilities and infrastructure sectors are the most attractive to potential investors. By definition, smart cities uses an information and communication technology framework to facilitate new development practices, to address urban challenges and create an integrated technology-enabled and sustainable infrastructure. According to Ernst & Young, there are 3 cities in Italy that can be considered smart cities: Milano, Bologna, Torino, which can offer points of interest for the Nusantara development plans. A dialogue on these issues is very important because the concept of a smart city goes far beyond the issues of intelligent management of resources, energy self-sufficiency, and technology innovations, and consists of a new way of seeing urban reality. And it's all the more important as the unique experience of a capital built from zero will take place in Nusantara. The new capital, moved to Kalimantan in eastern Borneo, will be a green and smart city. President Joko Widodo said that 70% of the new capital will be green areas to ensure environmental sustainability, in line with the goal of achieving zero carbon emission and 100% renewable energy by 2060. By hosting this webinar, we hope to provide an occasion for Indonesian and Italian stakeholders to collaborate and promote the improvement of Nusantara in the context of sustainability and design. We can start. Thank you to all of you to be present.
Thank you, Dr. Paulo Pinto. Really appreciate your effort to facilitate this forum as gathering all of us today across continent. 4 speakers from Italy and 3 speakers from Indonesia is definitely not an easy job. Once again, thank you very much for organizing this webinar. All right, we are going to start with the panel's presentation. Before I invite our first speaker, I would like to greet all the speakers. Hello, buongiorno, good morning, selamat siang to all the speakers today. Hello. Mr. Tavazzi, Mr. Ligori, Mr. Ventura. How are we today? Miss Simona Nebioso, thank you for joining us. Pak Prof. Supangkat, Pak Henrikus, Pak Kamil, terima kasih banyak telah meluangkan waktu. Thank you for making some time off to join this webinar today. We really appreciate it. Hope we are all well today and very, very excited for all of you to deliver your presentation to all of us. Okay, our first speaker today, he is the partner and head of the Global Intelligence and Scenarios Project of the European House of the Italian studio, Ambrosetti. He is going to talk on smart cities and smart building, the strategies of the European Commission and the Italian experiences. His name is Dr. Lorenzo Tavazzi. He will discuss the pillars of the European Union Plan Horizon Europe for smart cities and intelligent development. He will also talk about the examples of the Italian smart cities. There will be 9 smart cities in Italy by 2030. Some of them have been mentioned earlier by Mr. Pinto. There are Bergamo, Milan, Turin, Bologna, Florence, Prato, Padua, Parma, and Rome, in line with the EU's mission for climate neutral and smart cities. So to get in-depth understanding about Italian smart cities, here we are, our first speaker today, Mr. Lorenzo Tavazzi.
Very good morning from Italy, and of course a very good afternoon to all the participants from Indonesia. I'm particularly glad and would like to sincerely thank the Italian Trade Agency along with the Embassy of Italy in Jakarta for allowing me to participate in this important event and giving me the chance to share some thoughts on an issue that I deem particularly relevant for the future of our society, smart cities and smart building as well. And next slide, if you can move to next slide, please. As the European House of Ambrosetti, we are accredited to be the first private Italian think tank. Next slide, I don't see the slide moving. We can move to the next, please. We are accredited to be the first private think tank in Italy and among the top and most influential at global level. And we are very much committed to analyzing and deepening the topics that are of paramount importance for the development of our societies and our economies. And again, smart cities and smart building are for sure among of the top 5, I would say. Next slide, please. And every year we organize, as the European House of Ambrosetti, more than 550 events of connection, collaboration. We involve more than 3,000 political leaders and experts from around the world, along with 17,000 business leaders. And with them, with all of them, we share exactly information, views, experiences, knowledge in order to devise common strategies for development partnerships and to have a general vision of what the future can be like. If we move to next slide, please. In particular, we have been running since many years now several international summits held on a bilateral, multilateral base. You see all of them here. In particular, the idea behind the summit is to help Italy and Europe to get in touch more deeply with countries and areas of the world where there is still untapped potential of development. And every year we involve more than 70 governments, 150 speakers, top-notch speakers, more than 2,500. Again, business and political leaders all together. And in particular, next slide, please, get into the ASEAN area. We have been running and managing since 2017 a major event for the relation between Italy and the ASEAN countries. We started in 2017 specifically in Jakarta, Indonesia. After that, we moved the summit to Singapore. And every year we have the summit in different ASEAN countries. In particular, in 2023 will be Thailand in Bangkok, and next 3rd and 4th of October. The summit is a gathering of major business and policy leaders from Italy and ASEAN, again, to share common views on the future. And the summit, this event, helped also Italy to become official strategic partner of the ASEAN region in 2020. And as of now, the high-level dialogue on ASEAN-Italy economic relation is an official instrument of cooperation with the ASEAN countries of the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. But getting to the specific point, basic question is, in my opinion, why we need smart cities. If we move to next slide, please. And the answer is very sound and concrete, because urbanization is definitely a global trend. And the impacts in terms of social impacts and environmental impacts require new policies and models of living. This, if you move to next slide, please. This is the world population evolution. And in 2012 happened a very historical fact. So the share of urban population overcame the share of rural population. And this trend is progressing, as you can see here from this graph. And as of now, more or less cities cover 3% of the surface, the total Earth surface. But on the other hand, are very much responsible for 80% of the world's energy consumption, 75% of carbon emissions, 70% of solid waste. So there is a wide-ranging sustainability issue. And next slide, please. That's why it's so important to talk about smart cities, because smart cities are definitely the way forward to tackle global urban issues. And you see here in the chart some of the main projects of smart cities that are going on at the international level. Probably not all of them, just a part of them. But also the investments are massive. The projections is the threshold of $1 trillion by 2030 of investment in smart city projects. And very important to underline that 40% of all these investments will be deployed in ASEAN countries already by 2025. And this comes to the experience of Europe. Europe very recently launched a very, if we move to next slide, please, a very important policy initiative. In 2023, March specifically 2023, the European Parliament approved the European Energy Performance of Buildings Directive, which has been proposed by the European Commission in December 2021. This is a very cornerstone policy because it sets very ambitious targets, policy targets for decarbonization efficiency in buildings. You see all of them here. For new constructions, all new buildings will be net zero emission by 2028. For existing non-residential buildings, energy performance class E, which is quite high, by 2027, and D, which is even higher, by 2030. And for existing residential buildings, again, energy performance class E by 2030 and D by 2033. But the whole building stock of Europe should be net zero emission by 2050. And all the new buildings will be equipped with solar technologies by 2028, and for residential buildings, the deadline will be 2032. It's very fundamental because, you know, on the one hand, we have the residential building stock and the building stocks of Europe highly energy consuming, and 1/3 of the CO2 emissions are linked to buildings. And just to give you some numbers again, in Italy, we have more or less 12 million of residential buildings, and Italy spends for its energy bill for buildings more than 50 billion euros per year, more or less. So the relevance of the topic is paramount. And on the other hand, it's very important, this directive, because we have also an innovative policy tool. But next slide, please, the Smart Readiness Indicator. As of now, it's still an optional system, will be mandatory by law quite near in the future, very near in the future, in my opinion. But it's very important because it assesses the capacity of a building to be smart and efficient, focusing on key topics, 3 key topics: the optimization of the energy efficiency and the overall in-use performance, the capability to adapt the operation of the building to the needs of the occupants, so the flexibility, the evolution of the functions of the buildings, and the adaptability to signals from the grid, so the energy flexibility. So a very important tools to sustain the directive, the Energy Directive of Europe. And as of now, 77 countries in Europe out of 27 has already completed the test phase, and ITA will join this cluster very soon. And that's why we promoted, as the European House on Bosetti, next slide please, in 2022, the smart building community, to promote exactly the development of the smart concept in Italy. The smart building community is a permanent strategic working table that involves private sector players. You see on the left hand of the chart, the main, the funding partner, and on the right hand, all the agencies, public stakeholders, ministers, universities that are involved. The idea is to share again and to devise a common strategy for Italy to improve in the smart city concept. And next slide, please. It's fundamental to keep in mind that that's our perspective, that smart buildings are the fundamental building blocks of smart cities. If you don't have smart buildings, you cannot have any smart cities at all. And in our definition, a smart building is a hub of real-time and adaptive automated services that can be integrated with the building itself and the external ecosystem, so to create a smart district and smart cities, and with the aim at reaching an optimization of the use of resources, water and energy, the implementation and management costs, so the optimization of the costs of building, and the maximization of the well-being and safety of individuals. And so smart buildings are able to create very relevant economic, environmental and social benefits. I'll show you some numbers. Next slide, please. We did a case study on Italy. You see here the results of the what-if simulation. If we apply to a certain share, not the total, just a share of the building stock of Italy, efficient and smart technology, we can save up to 24% of energy consumption, up to 5% of water consumption. Next slide, please. Leading to a massive reduction of CO2 emissions, up to 28%. And next slide, please. Leading to, again, a massive net benefit, positive benefits, up to 14 billion euros per year in the case of Italy. But there is more. There is the fact that smart buildings are linked to, next slide, please, social benefits, safety and security, comfort and well-being of the individual. It's fundamental. But I'm going to finish my presentation just to say that it's not a matter of having environmental economic benefits. Next slide, please. It's also a matter of producing and enhancing a value chain of technologies and solutions that are very relevant. In Italy, the smart building value chain encompasses 35 sectors and 180 subsectors. And if you move to next slide, please, we can see that the Italian smart building industry is one of the largest economic sectors in Italy. More than 130 billion of turnover, more than 40 billion euros of added value, and 600,000 jobs created. And Italy also a leading position in terms of competitiveness for many aspects of the value chain: ceramic, construction company, furniture, design, electrical equipment, smart appliances. And this is my final slide. Next one, please. Smart cities will be one of the key areas of investment of Italy. Also, already in 2022, the smart city market in Italy grew by 23% with respect to 2021. As of now, 40% of local administration in Italy, and we have in Italy, please know that we have more than 8,000 local administration in Italy, have already implemented at least one smart city project. And in the next 3 years, 100% of the local administration will further invest. And also the National Recovery and Resilience Plan of Italy, which is one of the largest investment plan, actually the largest investment plan that is taking place in Europe nowadays, will invest more than 200 billion euros. And specifically 14 billion euros will be invested in energy efficiency and building requalification, thus enhancing and boosting even more the value chain and the competencies of Italy. And I stop here. Thank you very much, and taking the words of the ambassador, which is why it is so relevant to have such discussions like this, the one that we are having, in order to share vision on the reality of Italy, in Indonesia and the ASEAN countries, and to devise and forge a new partnership for development. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Tavazzi, for the brilliant insights, and thank you for enlightening us why we need smart city. Well, because the world needs to accommodate and keep up with its growing population to tackle global urban issues. And on top of that, if there is energy crisis like what happened in the past 15 months, there won't be too much of a worry if we can switch all the cities becoming a smart city. And of course, smart building is a key or important component of a smart city. So to develop smart city, we'll have to start from building a smart building itself. Mr. Tavazzi, please stay with us until the end of the presentation. We would probably need you more for the Q&A later on. All right, moving on to the next agenda, ladies and gentlemen. Our second eminent speaker today is the founder and CEO of a digital consultancy, Kinovi SRL. I hope I pronounced that correctly. A leader in its industry. He is a technologist, an influencer in the field of digital transformation and AI, or artificial intelligence. He assisted the Italian government in digitizing the transportation infrastructure. And he will present the model of the Italian smart city and illustrate how a smart city should guarantee access to the poorest at an individual and municipal level as an absolute priority. And he's going to enlighten us on the Italian concept of the Italian smart city, which according to him will build the opportunities to access services for the less well-off classes. And this is definitely something Indonesia needs to learn from to ensure that all the citizens get the benefits of smart cities inclusively. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Giuliano Liguori.
Hello everyone. It's a great honor for me to be present today as a speaker to discuss the topic of green and smart city and the role of Italy can play in this process. First of all, I would also like to extend my congratulations to Indonesia on its ambitious construction project of Nusantara, the new capital, and express my gratitude for this opportunity to promote the Italian concept and the implementation of a green and smart city. From my point of view, collaboration and friendship between nations are crucial in achieving these goals. Next, please. We are all aware that as urbanization continues to grow around the world, livable and sustainable city become increasingly important. As we know, the concept of smart city goes beyond managing and resource intelligently, achieving energy self-sufficiency, and integrating innovation in digital technologies. It involves a new approach to urban planning that, thanks to large quantities of big data, can meet the needs of both citizens and the environment. Not without reason, to make a city smarter, the EU has identified 6 areas of intervention and analysis: environment, economy, people, governance, mobility, and living, understood as the quality of life and the living space. Next, please. This implies a shift from a linear economic model that focuses on producing, consuming, and disposing of goods to a circular model that prioritizes the use, sharing, and extending the lifespan of products. This new paradigm also has the added benefit of addressing the needs of middle and lower income classes. Moreover, startups play a significant role in this new ecosystem and the open innovation approach in gaining ground. To illustrate the Italian approach, there are several smart city projects underway. For instance, Ernst & Young recognized Milan, Bologna, and Turin as smart cities that have implemented intelligent solutions in energy, waste management, transportation, and digitalization, making them models of sustainable urban development. In addition to these cities, Florence, Trento, Bergamo, Cremona, Modena, and Cagliari have also made significant progress in achieving their objectives. I would like to focus on examples such as Milan, Florence, and Bologna. Milan is considered to be the best smart city in Italy. On the one hand, Milan has implemented a new form of intelligent mobility, such as bike sharing, car sharing, and electric scooter sharing. The city is also working to install 1,000 new charging stations by the end of next year and introduce 1,200 electric buses by 2030. Moreover, sustainability is also a key focus with projects such as Bosco Verticale, a tower designed with artificial intelligence that uses innovative materials and is energy efficient. Furthermore, Milan is working also to promote the reuse of and the recycling of materials and reducing waste. Next, please. Okay. Florence, another good example is Florence. Florence Smart City model focuses on 3 essential aspects: connection, innovation, and e-mobility. For example, an excellent instance of this is the recent Smart City Control Room project, which is a comprehensive process system utilizing georeferenced data from all corners of the city to enable real-time mobility management that can promptly address emergencies. Additionally, the Open RU system already provides citizens with real-time traffic updates and advanced notification about public project approved by the administration. The city's dedication to developing the electric mobility system is equally significant, with 179 public charging stations available for the 4,000 electric vehicles in the Florence metropolitan area. The Electra project also aims to replace 10% of cities' mopeds with electric version with the next year. The electric buses have undergo testing. One of the most intriguing initiative is the Replicate project, which aims to improve energy efficiency in the city suburbs through smart grids, intelligent lighting, and the district heating. The third example I'd like to mention is a smart city project in Bologna, launched in 2012 as a different approach. This initiative has led to implement in the cultural heritage, e-care, e-health, and refurbished of public and private building to improve energy efficiency and sustainable waste management. Other significant initiatives in this transformation include the design of a public internet using a cloud-based system that employs integrated digital identities to group the contents and the services of the public administration, businesses, and citizens. The city has also implemented new networks such as smart grid, ultra broadband, and intelligent lighting, with the refurbishment of 8,200 public lighting units. Additionally, the city has taken steps toward sustainable mobility through initiatives such as bicycles, car sharing, and electric vehicles. Bologna has also installed ATMs allowing people to withdraw cryptocurrencies. Next, please. Looking at the future, smart cities in Italy are expected to become more interconnected, sense-of-filled, and data-driven, leading to increasingly advanced services, including charging point for electric cars, environment sensor, and the smart parking, and the smart traffic light, and the street lighting. Next, please. In addition to the smart city concept, as a part of this webinar, I would also like to mention my direct experience with the project of MAS for Italy. Italy has implemented the Mobility as a Service project as part of its Digital Italy 2026 strategy. The project that is truly a new paradigm in the world of transportation, aims to promote the usage of sustainable model of transportation while limiting individual mobility. Next, please. This initiative integrates multiple public and private transport services accessible through a single digital channel. User can publish book and play for various services such as transportation, public transport, car sharing, bike sharing, and taxi through digital intermediation platforms according to their needs. The project has 3 lines of action: testing, MAS, the testing mass in different territories, creating an open platform called data sharing and service repository facilities, and strengthening the digital dimension of public transport. The project is financed by the National Recovery and Resilience Plan with a total of investment of 40 million euro and an additional of 70 million allocated by 70 million by the complementary fund. The Mobility as Service for Italy project includes 3 main phases. Next, please. The first phase will finance experimentation in technology advanced metropolitan cities, which are defined as pilot cities. Milan, Naples, and Rome were identified in the first public notice. Point number 2, given the high quality of the projects presented in the second phase, the central administration, the DTD and the MIT will allocate additional resources from the complementary fund of the PNRR to extend the initiative of to 3 other capital municipalities of metropolitan areas currently under selection. The third phase of the project are related to selection of 7 territories according to the multi-territorial approach capable of ensuring continuity of the travel experience between different cities, territories, and regions. Mass for Italy is an excellent example of how the state can act as a regulator and enabler, financing the creation of open platform, DS and SRRF, and defining the rules, regulation, and standard for all ecosystem players. Next, please. To conclude, we operators of digital transformation and innovation believe that technology are means and not needs and not ends. The goal, we repeat it again, is to improve the quality of life of citizens and contribute to a sustainable future for all. To achieve this goal, descriptive, predictive, and prospective analysis first of all, and then networks of sensor capable of detecting and transmitting data on water and energy needs, environmental pollution levels, traffic intensity, and more can help. Smart home technology can also help reduce waste by automatically turning off lights in empty rooms and adjusting the temperature based on the number of people in the room. A data-driven approach is essential, and the analysis and management of data collected through the IoT application and the technologies are crucial to support business decision and the services offered by municipalities and the public administration. Undoubtedly, to establish a smart city or region is a crucial to engage all stakeholders, including citizen organization and the universities, and to direct effort toward creating inclusive, sustainable, and resilient communities. Moreover, promoting digital literacy and safeguarding privacy rights is imperative. It is vital to bridge the digital divide that may exist between various age groups or population, such as urban versus rural dwellers, and to prevent technology from intensify socioeconomic disparities of bias. Furthermore, ensuring the protection of personal data and enhancing information and cybersecurity must also be a central focus while building a smart city. Next, please. To conclude, we, in my point of view, we find ourselves in a new world that is both greener and smarter, benefiting all. And so I wish everyone a good job. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Ligori. Such a great insight. So looking into the future, we expect smart cities in Italy become more interconnected, sensor-filled, data-driven, leading to increasingly advanced services, including charging points for electric cars. Perhaps every 5 kilometers, maybe, you will find a charging station, smart parking, smart traffic lights, street lighting, and all of them to reduce energy consumptions. Thank you very much once again, Mr. Ligori. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to invite our next speaker. This time we're going to have two great people on the screen. But before I put both of them on the spotlight, I will make a brief introduction. The first speaker, Francesco Ventura, he is the CEO of VDP SRL, an engineering company that's providing consulting services and integrated design in the fields of environment. He has 35 years of experience in environmental studies and mobility. He also acts as a counselor with the delegation to the environment and coordinator of the OIC Working Group on Smart Cities. In fact, during his long experience, he participated and led several conferences on the topic of smart city. Very impressive profile. Joining along with Mr. Ventura, we have Ms. Simona Nebbioso. She is the project manager of VDPSRL and also an architect with more than 10 years of experience in the engineering and architecture companies operating in the field of construction, civil, building, and transport engineering. Ms. Nebbioso had a strong experience abroad in some Middle East cities, such as in Abu Dhabi, as designer for Masdar City, the first city with zero pollution, and then in Oman as designer for the new international airport in Muscat. And together, they will present the concept of smart cities and sustainable mobility, innovation for economic growth and quality of life in Italy, the offer of the Italian design chain for the new capital of Indonesia, Nusantara. Let's put our hands together to welcome Mr. Ventura and Ms. Nebbioso.
Good afternoon. Thank you for introducing us. As already anticipated, I am a coordinator of the OICE Working Group on Smart Cities, and I am also a CEO of VDP. Next. OICE is an association representing the engineering and architecture companies created in 1965. Is a member of Confindustria, a member of FIDIC, and also of EFCAN. Next, please. We are about 450 member companies. OICE is also sponsor of Rome Expo 2030. Next, please. And we are present in over 180 countries in all 5 continents. OICE top challenges are digitalization, green energy transition, and sustainable mobility. A few years ago, in collaboration with 30 companies, we have written a book on smart cities about tools for smart communities, which can be downloaded for free from the OICE website. I am going to let Simona speak for details on smart cities tools. Thank you. Simona.
Hello, thank you. Thanks for letting me the word. Next, please. BDP is an environmental engineer company founded in the 1990. We work on environmental themes related to mobility. What is OICE report? OICE has always dedicated attention to innovative topics related to engineering activities. Some years ago, within the OICE was born a specific working group in the smart city sector, earn a permanent position on debate about strategic lines for development and financing of projects both in Italy and abroad. Next, please. This is some sample of smart mobility in the world. India Smart Industrial Port City Kandla, the second Abu Dhabi Rapid Transport System Masdar City, and Brazil Urban Plan of Belo Horizonte oriented to collective transport. Next, please. We have other examples of smart city also in Europe, such as Paris, London, Copenhagen, Amsterdam, and next, please. A small focus on Italy, where we have a road, Salerno-Reggio, now the new Autostrada Mediterraneo, crossing Alpha Peninsula, completely covered by Wi-Fi system. And this is the first smart road that guarantees high standard of driving safety, transmission of so much information, charging stations for electric cars. All information in real time. The specific goal are automated guided. Next, please. In the car of the cities, we have car, motorbike, bike sharing, car, motorbike, bike hybrid, and electric. Next, please. We have to develop smart cities, environmental, social, and economic components must simultaneously be considered. Public administration must have a strong role and be able to set up a strategic plan and organic vision to understand the potential of the territories. In order to have a long-term vision and approach, the aim of this document is find the connection with various key themes. There are 9 components: is mobility, energy, ICT, water, governance, health and living, economy, built environment. Please, next, please. This is an interconnection matrix. Will be an interconnection matrix with the 9 key topics, and the possible solution will bring benefits not only to the key themes, but also the other issues affected directly or indirectly. Symbol X for each critical issue directly, symbol check to each critical issue that are indirectly. And what is the solution? The proposed key action solution will bring benefits not only to the key theme from which the critical originated, but also to the other issues affected directly or indirectly. Next, please. From the 9 components, we take the example of the smart mobility key topic. We will study why critical issue, for example, air pollution, noise pollution, safety, energy consumption, energy production from crossing sources. What the possible solution? ECT, sustainability mobility, territory integrated design, intelligent transport system, and who and where. Public-private partnership in endeavor from the development of the Brainport model, rapid transit system in Masdar City, Abu Dhabi, smart road, ANAS, and also CO2 reduction by 2025 Amsterdam. Next, please. Here an example of interconnection matrix. In the first box, we will put the critical issues as increasing urban congestion and using old cars. Then key issues directly on the mobility and indirectly on environmental, health and living and governance. And then what is the solution? In this case, the solution is the intelligent transport system and the ICT. The administration using the structure of the interconnection matrix to have the possibility to identifying the best action and involving other topics that are indirectly related. Next, please. How to turn a city into smart cities. Next, please. To develop a smart city is to follow a strategic planning process. Based on PDCA model, Plan, Do, Check, Act. The goal is to forecast, plan, and undertake action aimed at continuously improving the smartness level of the cities. We have some steps. Step 1 is the self-check. Step 2, vision. Step 3, integrated strategic plan. Step 4, application and development. Step 5, monitoring and verification. At the end, the last step is step 6, new evaluation act. Go ahead, please. Next, please. Okay, we have a focus on step 1, self-check. It's a tool that will allow local administration to make a self-analysis of their current smartness. The choice of indicators is based on the availability of data provided by official institutions, for example, ISTAT, National Statistical Institute, ISPRA, National Institute for the Protection and Environmental Research. Indicators present of the cycle path, local public transport, then some of the score. Okay, this is the key term, indicator name, indicator description, source, range, and score. Next, please. This is also a big focus on the phase 1, the self-check, where we put one of the key components, in this case, the mobility. We fill in the matrix, and there is the name, the description, the source, and the range, and then with the score. Then we have the mobility, also the other components to create a final score and the level of the smart communities. Next, please. In this way, the municipality can be compared with each other. Next, please. Okay, yes, I'll stop here. Thank you. This is not that importance of the centrality of the project. Technology develops digital cities. Technology supporting design and planning makes the city better. And we hope to bring our know-how to development of the new Indonesian capital, Nusantara. Thanks. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Ventura and Ms. Nebioso, for giving us some insights and few steps how to actually develop digital cities, or how to turn a city into a smart city. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, next to have a complete picture on how to design, to create, to build, develop a green smart city for a sustainable future, we would like to hear a few words from our Indonesian counterparts. We are very delighted. Today we have 3 prominent speakers with various backgrounds. There are academics, think tank, and business and community who are going to share what it takes to achieve sustainable future. Our next speaker is a senior advisor of Defense Industry Policy Committee on Cyber Industry. He completed his science degree from one of a well-known university in Indonesia, ITB, Institute Technology Bandung, and he holds a doctorate of engineering from Graduate School of Information System, the University of Electrocommunication, Tokyo, Japan. His contribution include assisting government as a special advisor to the Minister of Communication and Information Technology, Republic of Indonesia, in relation to IT governance and regulation. And he also was appointed as member of Board Commissioner of Indonesia Railway Industry. Today, he will present the smart city best practices in terms of technology and infrastructure for Nusantara. Please join me in welcoming Director, Smart City and Community Innovation Center, or SCCIC, Professor Dr. Insinyur Suhono Harso Supangkat.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Good morning, everybody in the world, maybe from Italy, from Indonesia, or for another cities. In this session, I would like to share about our experience to develop smart city. But the previous speakers talk about the example of the smart city in Italy and also the European movement in a smart city and also the challenge on the smart city development. I would like to emphasize on the basic challenges in the development of smart city, not only technology, but also in people, governance, and related. Next. Yes, it is my introduction that is said before. Next. Well, there is, we talk about the city. City is consists of the physical structure, living status, interaction, and information. What is the difference between the city in European and city in Italy, city in Indonesia, city in Japan, etc., etc.? But the fundamental thing is consists of the physical structure. There are a lot of form of the architecture of the city in the world. It depends on the heritage or historical culture each cities in the world, and how about the culture and city livings and also interaction and information. City is not just smart city is not just city plus technology, but we must think also the behaviors of the citizen in the city. So based on our experience, we also consider the digital literacy or citizen literacy on the development of the smart city. Next. So based on our observation, 10 years in an Indonesian development smart city, we consider the definition on the city, a smart city. Smart city as a city can solve various city problems for the food, from the waste, from the health, for trade, for education, and so on and so on. And using the smart solution that realize resource, especially technology, of course, very efficiently to provide smart service, says that can improve the quality of life. The important thing is to improve the quality of life. There's some previous speaker also talk about the quality of life. The quality of life, every city is different. Europeans, American, Indonesian, even Indonesia, from Jakarta, Papua, etc. And then also supported by cultural transformation. We need also cultural transformation effort toward a smart city society. Our objective is how to improve the quality of life. Next. And of course, we start with the new city or legalicity. For the Nusantara, we start with the smart space design in Kalimantan. But for Jakarta, Bandung, Semarang, etc., we start with the old city, with the very complex city. So in the city or smart city development, in the first stage, we talk about the smart space design, urban planning. My friend from planology or in a regional planning work for this. And then smart infrastructure, like smart physical infrastructure, smart digital infrastructure. And the upper layer, we talk about the smart service and lifestyle, smart social services, smart economic services, smart environment services as a contextual for sustainable development goal. It's a balance between social, economic, and environmental service. Next. And we develop the basic model of smart city with the sensing, perception, situational awareness in our area, for the safe and secure city, for the situation of the transportation, situation of the environment, variable social, and then understand with the technology, with the artificial intelligence, big data, etc., and then we act based on the situation, so that we could improve the quality of life, smart service delivery, and every city deliver from Jakarta, Italy, New Delhi, etc., based on heritage, human resources, natural resources, and then how we can improve the enabler, like a people, like in governance or cultural, and also the basic infrastructure. Then we could improve the services in a sustainable development goal on the economic, social, and environment. Next. And as I mentioned before, we must understand before in a sensing. There are a lot of challenge in this, how to get the data of the city, and using a camera, using the temperature, using waters, using the social abnormality, and how to set up, how to build a better or optimum sensing in the city. We are proposing the sensing for the crowd data. For example, we use the lighting tower for the multiple sensing. So every sector in the city no need sensor. We can use share sensor. And then we understand using the city analytic. Based on the city analytic, we can act for our planning, for the necessary decision in the short and the medium level. This is our approach in a smart solution based on the sensor. And then understand using artificial intelligence, data science, and so on and so on. Next. And in the sustainability, we are just starting to consider the circular economy. The environmental problem in our campus, in our city, we need to consider the circular economy rather than linear economy. Next. Yes, in linear economy, we have many ways in our city, in our campus, in our area. And then some use a recycling economy. And then the circular economy is one of our challenge, so that we don't know, we don't have waste in our city, in our area. We start with our small campus in the close, how to improve the waste benefit, not becoming waste, but useful cycling. Next. This is our approach in digital circular economization, circular economy. Use a digitalization, and we can understand what is the component in the circular economy, and we could treat with a special treatment, which becoming energy, which become creative industry, etc., etc. Next. And this is one of these digital technology for sustainable solution. Digital technology is for datafication, digitization, and transformation, so that we could understand what IT approximated to manage our waste. Next. This is a smart environment for the climate change and biodiversity loss and pollution in maritime, in the city, and also in the village. Next. Waste management, next, I think this is one of our, and also we use IoT and the smart technology to manage the waste in our city. Next. This is a river trash barrier based on waste bank. Next. And our development in our university is innovation, environmental innovation based on IoT, AI, and it's related. Next. And last year, in a G20 with Indonesia as a presidency, we set up, we call it a G20 Living Lab. How to implement the smart city development based on the Living Lab development. We use small area, and then we could treat what is the problem in a city, in the small area. Next. And then we could understand what is the technology appropriate with the community literacy, and also for the governance in a small area. And then if we successfully, we could extend in a large area. Next. This is our example dashboard, the smart platform in a Living Lab. And we could understand with the anomaly detection in each area for the transportation, for waste, for the environment, etc. Next. This is our approach, engagement in real life environment, open innovation, user engagement, co-creation. I invite Italian community to set up Living Lab in Indonesia. New capital city is also developed using Living Lab activity. So if the interest partners from the Italy to set up a Living Lab in a Nusantara or in another city, 525 cities and municipality, we could synergize to make a city become, improve the quality of life. Thank you.
Thank you, terima kasih Bapak Profesor Suhono Harso Supangkat for the wonderful insights. So the environmental innovation, like as you presented on your slide, waste management technology could become one of the main focus, or at least the first step to achieve a city that's not only advanced in adopting technology, but at the same time could also minimize the number of plastic that's ended up in the ocean. So again, the key is collaboration. So if we all can work together, it's not an impossible to achieve, to create a sustainable future in a near short time span. Thank you very much once again. Ladies and gentlemen, our second last speaker, let me introduce to you. He's the president of Indonesian Association of Urban and Regional Planners, IAP. A brief overview of his background. Pak Hendrikus is an urban planner who has more than 20 years of experience in research, consultancy, and advocacy in the field of sustainable urban development. He served as a lecturer at Urban Development Studies and attained his postgraduate program and master program of Urban and Regional Planning, Faculty of Engineering, University of Indonesia. He also the principal or founder of the HAS Consulting and NUA advisory teams to assist government, institutions, private companies to build the sustainable pathway. And he has been selected as one of the ISO CRP scientific committee members. And today he will present the planning of Nusantara in Indonesia to minimize environmental impact, strategies in the preparation of the city project and real estate business plan. With all due respect, Pak Hendrikus, please.
Okay, thank you once again, Italian Trade Agency, for inviting me to this forum, Italian Design Day, and of course for the other panelists that has already explained about the progress and also the innovation of their work before. Now I'm trying to add more on how the planning practices and also innovation can deliver three purposes, as requested by the committee for me to share. The first one is about how the planning also can minimize the environmental impacts. As you may know, also the new capital located in the forestry area. The second one, how the strategies in the preparation of the city and city project. And the third one, real estate business plan for the future. Okay, next one, please. So basically what as an organization of urban and regional planner, we have honor that our president Jokowi delivered a welcoming speech for our 50th anniversary, April 2021. He emphasized that we as the planner should not alienate the people, especially the local people in the planning area that we intervene. The second one that he also emphasized that don't we bring the technology, the digital technology that not suited to the or match to the needs of the local people. Therefore, I think these two pointers should motivate us to really have not only smart city, but also smart design in this context. And of course, he also invited us in the speech that should also represent and can be also a new model of our future cities in Indonesia. So then again, we understand quite well that the city is not only the physical building, but also the social system where the people with their everyday life difference with the other can have, let's say, conducive environment for them to grow as the human being. So therefore, I think this mandate has elevated us to create more innovation, more creativity on our planning practices. The next one, please. We are trying to see that smart city is not a single jargon or single approach. We put the smart city as the center of how we can transform our urban area into sustainable cities and also resilient cities. In our understanding, resilient is the capacity over time in face of disturbance. So it means the present time that we can manage or handle the hazard or even the disastrous events. The second one is about the sustainability, how the capacity of the system to preserve the system in the long run. So we need also to think the future generation, not only us. That is also very important to create a space, a better living place for them. So again, if we are agree that we develop city for resiliency, sustainability, then we need approach of smart city. We need the advancement of the digital technology, and therefore we use the smart city approach as our toolkits, not as the ends or the goals of our development. The next one, please. So then let's go to our discussion today that the committee asked me to share. The first one is how the planning practices can minimize environmental impact. So the first one is about reforestation project. This is the area that I think not only our government, but also the other stakeholders, the global community can participate in first doing reforestation project surrounding the new capital, yeah. And the second one, restoration biodiversity assets. We have so many wildlife habitats surrounding the capital. The third one, nature-based solution project. that we also, I think, needs the example of the nature-based solution can succeed, to deliver the services for the people and nature-based tourism destination and food and agriculture businesses. Next slide, please. So I have very limited time. Now, this is the area that you can compare. The left one is the new location of the, sorry, the new capital, the location of the new capital. You see in the green polygon, there are so many wildlife habitats there. And if you see in the right side, you see that the London, we can use as the example, London 2050 National Park City, where they connected the green corridor through the urban and also green area that they connect. So this is also the example of us. Then there are so many projects actually that linking to green investment and also forestry project. Next slide, please. Okay, this is the example of us in conducting with WRI Indonesia. We conduct nature-based solution planning readiness. We have studied for the 5 cities, and Balikpapan is one of them with the highest one, 70.40%. Let's go to the next slide, please. And if you see that they have very good in data collection analysis stats, but there are still indexes that they can reach for, especially in how the implementation of the green infrastructure can be more and more applied. Next slide, please. I have only 2 minutes left, according to committee. The second one is strategies in preparation of city project, that you may see the potential investment and businesses. We have 5 areas that you can explore. Green infrastructure, you can also participate in eco-road development, renewable energy, especially in using the solar panel, smart living, especially in this case, housing with the green and circular economy. So if you want to develop housing there, you need also to support with the waste management infrastructure, so then they can easily access the services. And also the third one, active transportation infrastructure. We believe that the president also endorsed the 15-minute city. That's why the linkage between public transport and pedestrian, bicycle path, or even wheelchair pathway for the disabled and elderly group, it's also the area that we can also contribute. Intercities cooperation, Balikpapan and Samarinda as the older city, that I think they have a maturity in providing services for the new capital. And the last one, of course, supply chain in urban properties. We know that the worker now has the housing, rent housing facilities, but again, in the next future, there are so many housing project and other properties need to be developed there. Next one, please. This is the example of intercities cooperation. If you see the dot, the red dot is Balikpapan, and the north one is Samarinda. The eastern part is Samboja, is a part also the new capital. There is a, I call it diamond of growth, where the new capital can absorb many benefits from the other city. Next one, please. This is also the area for green infrastructure and smart living, for the example that you can also see the reference. Okay, the last, next one, please. Okay, just keep it going because I have run out time. Go ahead, go ahead. Okay, this is also real estate business development that I think affordable housing is also a good area for investment, hotel and rent houses, universities and public school. It will be upcoming facilities, urban facilities that will be developed in the next 2-3 years or 5 years later. So again, I think the last one, the next slide, the last slide. So I think the building new IKN city must go through a smart process, yeah, not only by utilizing updated data or technology, but also organizing the participant of international, national, and regional human resources that we can take benefit from this stock of knowledge, stock of expert. So then we can have a very, so thank you so much, and I'll give back to the moderator. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Henricus. Indeed, sustainable city will be only realized with smart planning and processes. And a smart planning needs a well preparation and also a learning process from the countries that have already developed smart cities. So the country like Italy has developed many projects, many tools have gone through trial error. And in fact, it's a leap of learning process if Indonesia can optimize this. Thank you once again, Pak Henricus. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you the representative of Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or we known as Kadin, Bapak Insanul Kamil, I beg your pardon. He is the Vice Chairman of Public Works, Public Housing and Infrastructure of Kadin. He obtained his master's degree from Graduate School of Mechanical Engineering from Toyohashi University of Technology and Doctor in Philosophy from University Technology Malaysia. He will present today the Indonesian entrepreneurial company supporting the development of the capital Nusantara, the goal of a zero carbon economic ecosystem. Mr. Kamil, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Chairman. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good afternoon for all participants in Jakarta. Very good morning for all participants in Italy. The title of my presentation today is the Indonesia Entrepreneur Company supporting the development of the capital Nusantara, represented by Kadin, the goal of a zero carbon economic system. Next, please. This slide shows about the relocation of the Indonesia capital as an initiative to realize the 2015 and 2085 Indonesian Dreams initiated by President Joko Widodo. Next, please. There are 7 Indonesia Dreams ideas where the ideas are well integrated into the design of the archipelago capital, such as Indonesian human resources, whose intelligence outperform other nations. Indonesian society that upholds pluralism, its culture, religious, and upholds ethical values. And Indonesia is the center of education, technology, and world civilization. And society and government officials who are free from corrupt behavior. And the last is the development of infrastructure that is evenly distributed throughout Indonesia. Next slide, please. This slide, in line with Indonesia Dream, the capital city of the archipelago implements 8 principles of a green and sustainable modern city, such as design according to natural condition, unity in diversity, connected, active and accessible, low carbon emission, circular and resilience, safe and affordable, convenience and efficiency with adaptive technology, and the last is the equitable economic opportunity. Next, please. The presence of the archipelago capital simultaneously brings various big benefits to the business world, especially local and international investors. The concept of IKN Nusantara as a smart and green city bring great opportunities for global investors and technology providers to invest in IKN Nusantara new capital city. IKN Nusantara will become a world benchmark in building a new civilization that is integrated, environmentally friendly, and healthy for its inhabitants. The domestic investors' involvement in this green period, in this green project initiative, will accelerate the green project ecosystem in order to keep the trust from the overseas investors to invest in Indonesia. Next slide, please. There are 3 companies that have obtained permits to carry out IKN Nusantara new capital city construction project, including 2 local companies and 1 foreign company. Next slide, please. IKN, this is the 6 main driving economic clusters. 1, IKN Nusantara is designed with a focus on 6 leading economics clusters, such as clean technology and industry cluster, integrated pharmacy cluster, number 2, and number 3, sustainable agriculture industry cluster, ecotourism and health tourism cluster, cluster of chemical and chemical derivative products, and the last one is low carbon energy cluster. Next, please. The design of the archipelago IKN Nusantara, which is smart, green, and sustainable, brings benefit and challenge, especially in infrastructures, security, quality of life, transportation, and humanity. Next slide, please. The business world continues to develop following the changing time and technology, with various emerging business problems. Kadin took the initiative to support net zero companies by reducing global carbon emission. We call the Kadin Net Zero Hub. Next slide, please. This is Kadin initiative for smart and green infrastructure. This initiative is our effort to implement a smart and green infrastructure, which is a feature of future infrastructure development. We collaborate with many parties through Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, we call Kadin Indonesia, such as state-owned and private construction service, the government, construction and infrastructure supply chain, professional association of construction industry, and also universities to produce a sustainable innovation in implementing the smart and green infrastructure in Indonesia for a better future. Next slide, please. That's all of my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Kamil, for the insightful presentation. So the world's eyes are on Indonesia's new capital city, Nusantara. And the leader of the nation himself has already expressed that Nusantara will be a world benchmark of a living space that's integrated, connected, environmentally friendly, and healthy for the inhabitants. And in order to achieve that, well, we need to hear from all the experts, from all the best practices they have, the experience to develop a city that, if I quote again, our Mr. President Jokowi said, new capital city will not merely be about physically moving government buildings, the presidential palace, but the whole intention is to build a new work culture, a new mindset, a new economy, a new capital that's green, smart, and innovative. All right, as I promised earlier, I will allow 10 minutes for the Q&A session. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions in regards to our topic today, please type your questions with format as follows: your name, space, your organization, space, whom the question direct to, and of course, the question itself. So let's wait for the questions to float in. Okay, we have actually curated a few questions here. I'm going to read the first question first. The question is as follows. Nowadays, we see the implementation of smart mobility in the capital city of Indonesia, Jakarta, such as the high presence of electric bikes and electric cars, or EV, alongside the battery station, and hopefully can be implemented towards our new capital alongside with its public transportation system. The question is, how can we see or project in the next 10 years in the context of smart mobility, and how can we scale it? This question is directed to Mr. Tavatsi. Mr. Tavatsi, are you still with us?
I am. Following all the webinar. Thank you. If I can see again the question, please, because it's quite long. To get the smart mobility concept, I'm sorry, I'm not knowledgeable about the deployment and the evolution of smart mobility in Jakarta. For sure, smart mobility is fundamental. I'm talking about the Italian context is booming. So there are a lot of projects at national level in order to integrate, to enhance the grid and the batteries and all that is necessary to the implementation of the smart mobility concept. Again, the national plan, the Italian National Plan of Resilience and Recovery, is pushing a lot green transition within the investment plan is smart mobility. There is also a very important, again, European legislation in terms of ban of internal combustion engines by 2035. So we'll be seeing in Europe and in Italy as well a complete change of the structure of the market. And again, smart mobility will be there. There are a lot of incentives to sustain the change, not necessarily in private usage, but also in the public transportation. And the public transportation, in particular in Italy, will see a deeper renovation of the entire fleet of public transport. So many things are happening. For sure, the most important thing, in my opinion, is the infrastructure. In Italy, I'm talking about not the public transportation side, which is easier, many reasons, but smart mobility for private individuals, private usage. It's very important, the infrastructure, the grids, the grading of the grids, the accessibility at the point of charging, and also the standards of interoperability, and also the payments standards. These are still, I'm not saying missing, but are very much in need of improvement. So, but I think that the trajectory is very well set for the future.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tavazzi, for the response. So the support from the government through the regulation, through the incentives and the development of infrastructure will, of course, boost the development of green smart city for the new capital city, Nusantara. Thank you very much once again. Second question, the question is directed to Pak Suhono. Pak Suhono, I believe you're still with us. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, the question, if you can also see it on the screen, is the smart city approach useful for all cities or not? Considering there are several cities that have different use cases and subjects.
Yes.
Can we use the same mindset towards all of the cities?
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, good question, because smart city is not just a city with technology, city with the application, but we also need community readiness. So mindset is important, of course. We could action for our abnormal condition or with our objective condition, such as for the electric vehicle or smart mobility, but we also need community adaptability. Also governance, as I mentioned the question before this number. So I think mindset is one of the important in smart digitization with we call it the sensing or situational awareness with the sensing and to understand with the IoT, with the artificial intelligence, and so on and so on. So the question number 3 and the number 2 is same, but we need adaptability of the people, process, technology, IoT, AI, etc. include in our mindset. But the basic mindset, we must know the situation of our environment, the situation of our traffic, the situation of our driver, the situation of our rush condition in the office, etc., etc. So Living Lab is one of our approach to engage between the technology, the people, the governance. So we can smoothly implement the smartization in our area or in our sector. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Pak Suhono. So all the components of a smart city, which is the government, the people, and the technology, the building, the infrastructure itself.
Yes, engagement.
The engagement is the important thing, right? The readiness of the people, the level of the digital literation of the people is also have to be able to cope up with the technology. Otherwise, it won't work. Thank you very much, Pak Suhono, for the response. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have finally reached. Okay, before I conclude, do we have any more questions? Oh, one more question. Okay. Okay, the question is as follow. Okay, this question is directed to Pak Supangkat, Pak Suhono, and Pak Professor. No? I apologize. Please bear with us. Okay, the following question is directed to Pak Henrikus. Okay, as you mentioned in your speech earlier, the very ambitious goal of a new capital city for the world's fourth most populous nation, Indonesia, and third largest democracy requires a common wavelength both in terms of population behavior and more generally of local building industry expectations. This will imply a challenging and very specific legislation mainframe. Are there already specific regulations expected to be embedded into the new buildings of the Nusantara capital city? And the subsequent question, are there already planned policies involving communities, communication, and participation of citizens in the achievement of these targets? The question is from Ruggero Baldasso, one of our participants in this webinar today.
I think there is a common regulation. We need adaptability of the people and also, yes, the availability of the sensing so that we could understand what is the situation in the city, in the Nusantara, etc., and then we could understand what is the anomaly condition in the area, and then we can respond effectively, efficiently. So sensing, understanding, and acting is one of our approach, and we call Ikro Tabayun Bertindak, ITB, ya. Ikro Tabayun Indonesia, I don't know, this is a language in Indonesia. So the basic mindset of this, all of the development in the city or the area is we must first the data for development, data situation in our Nusantara, in a social and also in environment and also economic, and then we can save and secure situation and comfortable city for the future. I think we need of the basic mindset for this that situation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pak Suhono. Maybe Pak Henrikus, you would want to add something on top of that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it will not be a short-term effort, right? So I think by establishing the authority of the Nusantara, the government try to, let's say, focus, and refocus the development into a single entities. I think the head of the new capital authority has already delivered the importance of the people or public participation. At this moment, for example, there is a competition for the logo for the IKN, for the Nusantara. There are 5 nominees at this moment. Of course, the prize is the one summit, investment forum. They go to the several places. It's also show the efforts of the government to engage the private sector. But at this moment, I guess there is no specific regulation embedded into the buildings code or building regulation. But I think the detailed spatial planning and also the urban design guideline has been provided. And maybe we can see in the next 3 months, it will be a new regulation of the head authority of IKN to ensure that the buildings should fulfill or meet the building codes and zoning regulation in that area. I think they have already there. So, I mean, the communication so far that maybe we can have inputs to them is engaging the local people, because the digital platform only be accessed or maybe get the interest of the people in the outside of Balikpapan or outside of the East Kalimantan. But again, the form of communications, direct communication into local people, that's the space for improvement, I guess. Yeah. Back to you, moderator.
Thank you very much, Pak Henricus. I would like to ask our last speaker, Pak Insan, maybe we can get a better insights in regards to this specific question.
Okay, thank you for your question. I think this require a joint commitment, because as we know, many countries also moving the capital city. Many regulations that encourage the realization of this ambition are indeed being prepared properly, and the progress until now, I think, has occurred to date is quite encouraging. I think this is the answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much to all the speakers for the response. So we've finally reached the end of our event today. I believe everyone agreed that this forum is very insightful and inspiring, and for that, please once again put our hands together to thank to all our speakers, and of course for organizers and supporting partners for their efforts to make this event a successful one. You all did a great job. Next, I would kindly invite to all speakers and honorable guests to have a photo op together. Before we say goodbye to each other, everybody please set your eyes on the camera. I'll start to count down from 3, 2, 1. Okay, once again on behalf of the organizer, once again I would like to say thank you to all the speakers for your valuable insights. Thank you to all the participants for your attentions from the beginning till the end. I hope you found today's session very informative and useful. Thank you for spending time with us today. All the best to all of you. Grazie, thank you very much, and goodbye.